I
think
don't
that's what
know.
okay. That's what I do too. I think I had to think about it because I haven't done it um, that much. So anyway, here we are. Thank you girls for joining us. And, this is literally just collaboration. It's sharing ideas. Um, I know it's the beginning of January, and I thought it would be a good idea to go over what the incentives are for January, just so we're all on the same page. Because I literally signed somebody up right before I opened up this Zoom, and it was my first sign up for January, and the Give 10 code said it expired.
Right. There's no more
So, okay.
codes
So
right now.
I don't know why I was just, it had been around for so long, and I knew there wasn't a
Well,
reset. So
the
I thought
thing
surely there's some kind of like, you
the
know,
thing is that last year it was either convention or one of the leaders retreats. Genevieve said on there that they were always going to have give 10 because everybody offers $10 off. So
yeah,
something has happened where they are not doing the $10 off. I'm sure they're going to come out with something on Super
yeah,
Saturday.
yeah. And Super Saturday, they usually offer some discount. So I created my own code. I just created a $10 off code because you know, um, thought that there would be a $10 off, and I told her she would get $10 off, and not realizing. And I've looked at the incentives multiple times, and I guess that just I think maybe it's just ingrained in my head, and I'm sure it's not in there, but
Well, it was said by a corporate officer that we were
okay.
going to have to
Yeah,
give
so
10
I
all
just
the
think
time.
I assumed
So,
$10 off. So I just
mhm.
created my own code and gave her $10 off since I had already told her that I would. So I do love that option to do that. And so like if you guys have never done that, that's definitely been something that I don't give additional things off a lot because I feel like especially the last few
Same.
months, right, with the free reset, that's a huge discount. And
Well, I just don't, Karen,
yeah,
because if you give them too much off, they're not going to be able to afford it next month.
yeah, I agree.
Oh, and so if you want them retained, like I don't make any special codes except for what Plexus gives us is what I feel like is good enough for Plexus. It's good enough for me. So
Yeah.
I don't do that, but several of my friends do.
Yeah.
So it is an
I do
option,
it
and
on
I'm
a
glad.
special, sometimes on a special, like I was working on Earning Leaders Retreat. And so
Yeah.
I had two more orders, and it was like right before Christmas. And I'm like, I'm going out of town Christmas, and I just need to get this done like now. I don't
Yeah.
want to wait until I'm on vacation with my
Right.
family and I'm stressed out about the last two orders. So sometimes things like that,
Yeah.
I just tell them, hey, I've got two codes. That's all I have because that's all I was going to offer. My last two people, I do want one. This is all I got, girl. And so, like, it did help in situations like that. Or I
Oh,
can see,
absolutely. And I was only 5 from getting Ruby last month. 5 orders.
oh, no.
5 orders, not even
Oh, my
5 new
goodness.
orders, but 5 orders. And so I could have done that. Like I just don't even think about it.
Yeah.
So I will, if I get that close again, like I will
Yeah.
get that close again. I'm not saying if, when I
Yeah.
get that close again, if it's that close to the end of the month, because I mean to tell you, it was hairy. I went into the last day with like 35 orders to get, and I came up 5 short. So I worked all day
Wow.
like getting it, but oh my gosh, it was crazy, crazy.
Oh, that's hard. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
that's hard when you get that
And
close.
I've never ranked up to Ruby, so that would have been
Yeah.
my, you know,
Yeah.
but so it's coming, it's coming.
Well, think of it this way. Yeah, like if you get it during convention contest, that's going to help your convention contest
Right.
because you get
You
credits.
get credits for holding your rank, which I'll
Yes.
give for senior gold, and then you'll get credits for rank up. So if you
Yes.
do that in 1 month, I think it's even double credits, but I'm not positive
Yes.
how
Yes,
that
yes,
works.
yes.
And
Yes.
after you talk about incentives, I'll tell you about my tracking system that's worked for
Yes.
me for the last 5. Well, this will be the 5th contest that I've done, and I
Yes.
got the last one. So I'll tell you about that when after we're done talking about incentives, because I don't want
Sounds
to. interrupt you too much.
No, I definitely want to hear that. I think you talked about it before, but it's one of those things like you kind of have to hear it again and
Right.
again and
I
again
did
for,
a whole Zoom on it yesterday.
oh,
And I put it in the sideline, I believe. And so
okay,
look up in there in the media and see
okay.
if you see it in there, Karen,
I
because
will.
I did put the Zoom and I put the link to the Excel sheet that I made and the picture of this because this is not Excel, obviously.
Yeah,
I make my own just from a 5 column notebook.
I
So
love that.
see, then I make my own because then I can label it like this contest is labeled different than my last contest, and I've kind of honed it down to what really works best for me.
Yes.
So I'd be happy to share all that with you.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Like today is my I've been out of town till Friday, and then I babysat my 4-year-old grandson all weekend, including overnight. And then last night we were at my husband's a party for my husband's business. It's just been a crazy. And then I'm back to school because I'm a teacher. So today was my first day back. And so then I got somebody signed up, and then I rushed home and started this. But that was like as soon as we get done. And don't forget, did everybody go to did anybody get to see the I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, but the training, I guess is the word I'm thinking of, that Brooke Hemingway and Amber Miller did.
I
Because I
did not, but
know
there's another one tonight.
tonight,
So
yes, after this, I think yeah. So yeah, so if you haven't, that's a great training. I know one thing that they said is they're challenging everybody to get two this week, two new VIPs, and they said a couple of times, um, you'll be glad you did. Come Super Saturday, you'll be glad you did. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what that's about, but usually when they say things like that, that's a good hint that there's some little thing going on. Okay, the Plexus Perk featured product is Slim, right? I think it's Slim Hunger Control this month for that. We have the $20 off Healthy Habits combo. That's all the drinks, which is great. That is 150 PV, 152. I mean, so it's going to cover your 150 PV, which you definitely get extra credits for. It's similar to Leaders Retreat, right? You get extra credits for 150 PV and up. And that there's no code needed for that. That's just automatically marked down on the website. $1 membership is still applicable. Super Saturday is this Saturday. There's still $10 product credits for anyone in December that signed up. And my understanding is, I don't know if that's for the reset. I've heard a debate, like if they signed up with the reset, not sure if those people get a December. Do you know, Babette? Or if it's just if they took the Give 10, they get the $10 off this month.
I don't know the answer to
Okay.
that. I
And
really
I'm not,
don't. I can
hmm.
ask somebody one of my people that signed up. I signed up quite a few last month. So
Yeah. Okay. So, and then the 2025 Get Loud Convention contest is going on. Um, and just to remind everybody, what's different about that is you're getting credits levels 1 through 4. Levels 1 through 4. And so instead of just levels 1 through 2, they do have a chart where they break it down for you. Um, and they're doing the same. Your retention credits are going to be the same as your sign up credits. So that's exciting. Um, what else was there unique about the convention credits? But anyway, that
oh, what else is really unique is it goes 4 levels
yeah,
down.
yeah, that's what I was saying.
So,
4 levels.
sorry, I
You
didn't
didn't
hear you
hear
say
that part.
that.
Yeah, 4 levels down. So that's really cool. Um, and I like that because they were saying like Leaders Retreat, right? It's just about helping, people getting going and recruiting and sponsoring and becoming a leader, so to speak. And now it's like duplicating down, like helping you. Like now we want our people to go senior silver and duplicate down. So we want more than one level. So as far as I see, those are the only incentives that we have right now. I just have a feeling that after Super Saturday, they usually save a few things. Um, So that's coming down the pipe, I'm sure. So does anybody have anything that they want to share? Something that's been working for them? I know Babette, we're going to listen to her. I definitely want to hear that again. Um, Anybody else have anything that's been working for them, whether it's recruiting, retention, um, team building, anything they want to share out?
Well, I did a couple things over the last 3 days, 3 or 4 days of the month. I ended up qualifying for the contest, and I made gold for the first time. So it was pretty
Go,
Congratulations.
exciting.
girl.
Yeah, and
Good
I
job.
some of the things that I did that I hadn't really thought about is I started a list of people, anybody that viewed my reels, stories, whatever, even if they didn't like or comment on it. And I just started messaging people, and I just didn't worry about what their feeling about it was. I just said something like, it was good because it was right around New Year's, and I hope you had a great Christmas with your family, or long time no talk. They were people that I knew, that I was friends with. And, hope you have a good New Year's. And then I went on to say, I've noticed that you've been checking out some of my stories and reels, and thanks so much for your support, and cheering on, because it's not easy to put yourself out there on social media. So I was very vulnerable. And then I just said, has anybody ever shared Plexus with you? Does gut health and wellness interest you? Would it be okay if I share some information with you?
Yeah.
And, I got a lot of no responses, but I got some sure, I got some, no, I'm not interested. I found out somebody else already did Plexus. They were a VIP through somebody else. So I did that. And what was the other thing that I did that I thought really worked well?
Can you put that in the chat? What you talked, like what you said? Do you have any of that written out or a screenshot of it or
Oh,
anything?
sure.
Because
I
what you
can,
just said was great. Like
yeah,
it
I
And
was
can
I'll
go
give you,
great.
ahead and type it out when I'm done. The other thing, what was the other thing that I did? And it was a good one. I just lost it. Go ahead and somebody else share. And if I think about it, I'll come.
I'm gonna add on to that because I've done that a lot too, and that's been really helpful at finding new people. They've seen your stuff, but I worded it like, "Hey, I don't know if you've seen any of my posts about reset, or hey, I don't know if you've seen." I just pretend like I don't know. I don't want them in my like. I'm always worried, like I don't want them thinking I'm stalking and looking at all the things, and then they're going to be afraid to look at my stuff. Or like, I don't want to look at Karen's stuff
Yeah.
because she's going to message me. So I just kind of throw it out there as if like, hey, I don't know if you've seen my post lately, but we're having an amazing freebie this month. Right. And so I just wanted to reach out and see if it might be something you'd be interested in trying for yourself. Like it helped me with X, Y, and Z. I don't know if you've ever thought about trying it for yourself. Right. Something
Mm.
like that. But so it's kind of similar to what you're saying. But yeah, I think that's a great idea we forget that sometimes to go back and track. And I especially like, if you have story clips that are like, let's say you're doing a video in your stories and it takes 4 clips, like you've done 4 1-minute clips, and then you've put a couple of graphics in there after that, 2 or 3 more. So you kind of got a series of 7. I like to see who watched all the way to 7.
Yeah.
Because some people drop off after 1 or 2, and you're like, okay, I might go back and message them. But my hot leads are those people that I mean, if they're listening for or watching 4 minutes of a video, and then they saw all of my before and afters and my blah, 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 and they're still with me, then something about it kept them coming. Because I know for me, like when I go look at people's stories and they have a bunch of stories, right? Like a bunch of those like little bars at the top. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. I'll like click, click, click. And I'm like, okay, if I'm not interested after a minute, I'll just move over to the next person. So I always think, but I stick around. If I'm interested, sometimes I find myself, I'm like, watching every single, they've got 20 clips up there and I'm watching all 20 clips. I'm interested, obviously, in what they have to say, or I'm connecting with something. And so those are the people I tend to message first, especially because I feel like but again, even when they do, I just pretend like I didn't know, that I've seen them and I just feels more comfortable. Maybe it's not
So
really.
you don't message it right from that story that like you can do, like if I put up a thing about me making my purple passion unicorn
Yes.
drink and there's 70 people that watch it,
Yeah.
you can see who watches it and you can hit the little message icon and that'll let you message them right away. And then you can say, "Hey, I see you're watching my purple passion unicorn drink. Do you want to try this? We've got our sale going on, $20 off this
Yeah.
week." Or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Also,
I
Karen,
don't.
did you notice the ones that are watching your stories? Did you notice if you see their posts more on Facebook, those people that are watching your stories?
Yes.
Okay, that is important because that is the algorithm talking to you. Okay.
Yeah.
So that Facebook is um telling you that they're important, that you are important to them because you're now seeing their stories. But then when you go in and message them more than 3 words, okay, like if you just say, "Hey, how's it going?" That's more than 3 words. Facebook recognizes that and shows you more of their posts and shows them more of your posts. So
Right.
those are the ones that you want to hone in on. Hey,
Right.
Rebecca, girl.
Hey.
Ooh.
Uh,
Yes, I
so,
agree.
so anyway, if you notice your algorithm doing funny things, that's what it is when you message these people. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. And I even, like that's why it's so good for you to even message non-plexus stuff or show non-plexus stuff because people
Right.
respond to something that they can connect with, whether it's something that your kids did or whatever you're cooking, and they want to know something about what you're cooking or whatever it is. Just them responding in there, watching, and then if there's a response in there or a question in there, it definitely helps with the algorithm. And then they see more of your stuff after that too. So that's
Right.
always great. And
Did,
one of the things that I keep hearing Emily Gibson say a lot is that it's kind of like when the posting, the whole reason that you're posting and sharing your life, not just your plexus stuff, but your life, is because this is the quickest way to get people to know, like, and trust you, right? Like people are more apt to buy from you if they know, like, and trust you. And so that's why
Mhm.
it's so important to just continue to share more of just your everyday dumb, like we can relate to those little moments, right? And another story that she shares is that, she shares a story and I can't remember exactly what the billboard was. She's like, social media is like your billboard. Like she goes, I remember, like you drive by these billboards every day, and there was a billboard, I can't remember what it was for. Like, I think it was like a new roof. Like she's like, we needed to get some repairs on a roof. And I kept telling myself, I'm going to call that person. She was like, I'm passing by it all the time. I'm going to call that person. And she goes, I just get home and I got distracted and I get busy. I never called. Well, guess what? Somebody else reached out to me. Some company, some owner of a company said, hey, we're offering specials in your area. Um, like we're having a discount on things. And so, hold on a second. Let me get this wrong.
In regards to the stories, yeah, I always try to hit up Life and Plexus as well every day. Like today, I did a reel of cleaning up my Christmas stuff and went through, and then obviously I posted it on Instagram and Facebook, but I also put it in my stories. I also posted like my breakfast. I posted us doing homeschool. I mean, you can post all that and have plexus in the background, and that's still considered. But I also did the healthy habits combo as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would agree. Whoops.
Go
I
ahead.
would agree with Julia. That's the other thing I realized is like Monique, my upline said, I kept my store open. I posted a lot, posted stories, reels, and
Yeah, you did.
some of it was really like personal stuff where, you know, I did a picture of my husband and I prior to Plexus and one after, and you can just see the transformation, you know, weight, inflammation, whatever you want to call it. And I think those, they're the ones that really hit home to me as well as I think to other people. They want to see, they want to get to know you. And they, you know, the ones that I put up just a bunch of pictures about the resets and whatever was going on with Plexus at the time, those weren't as good of responses, or as I don't know. I didn't have as many views on it, I guess I would say. So I think it makes a difference, you know, what you're putting in there too.
Yeah.
And just keeping your store open. I haven't done it the last couple of days. I've kind of got off track and I've got to get back and do it.
Yeah. Good tips for sure. You know,
And
so-
I'm trying to, maybe some of you can help me. I'm trying to copy from my, so I used Messenger or Instagram messaging, even with, there were a few people that I had cell phone numbers and I sent it, but I also felt like it was kind of invasive to do it that way. I would prefer to do it the other way. And then I circled back to a few, and those that didn't respond to me, if I did have a phone number, I tried their texting their phone number. But again, you know, I still didn't hear from a lot of them, and that's okay. They either don't know how to say no, or, you know, which is fine with me. It's okay if they don't want to do it. Most people were really nice. Nobody was mean that responded. It's like, I'm not interested at this time. And I said, no problem, you know, have a great holiday and, you know, whatever. So,
yeah, that's great. Cause you don't know unless you ask.
right.
And it's really the ask that instead of just circling, like wondering, you know, the ask is the way that is kind of like the beginning of, like, that's how it exposes their objections.
Right.
We literally start working through their objections once we kind of know what they are, but we don't really know what they are unless they say no. And
Right.
I used to be afraid to eat, like, okay, no problem. And now I'm learning to like lean in a little bit and just say, oh, tell me more. Like, is there, you know, what do you think's holding you back? Or, you know, what would you say is in your way of giving them a try? Like, and listen,
Right.
it might be like, we're always thinking it could be money, right? And sometimes, a lot of times it is, but sometimes it's like, gee, I've never been consistent with anything.
Right.
Right. And so sometimes it's kind of like, I get you. I was the same way when I started with these products. It took me a while because when I started supplements, I would forget, right? It took me a while to get this. And, you know, like talking through the different points of their objection and, you know, is helpful, because sometimes we just kind of give up, I think, sometimes too quick. And it's a lot about changing our mindset, helping people change their mindset, thinking about things different, you know, like what are you missing out on by not being consistent?
Right.
Right. The other thing that
Yeah.
I did differently too is I tried not to say so much. I think I used to vomit Plexus all over people and try to give them too much information. So I kept it briefer. And I also asked, you know, if they were like wanting to hear more or wanted, you know, were kind of quiet for a while. I had two people that I signed up that I had started conversations with back in October, and it took that long to get them to say yes. And I normally wouldn't have gone back, but I just kept going back because I could see that there was some interest level, and asking them if I said, can I put a cart together for you of what I think would be helpful with your issues, so you can check it out. They did. And then, you know, one didn't respond. And I said, so what do you think? You know, are you ready to give this a try? And she's like, sure, I'll try it for 3 months. You know, so you just have to be bold and ask. And, you know, most people are, I didn't have anybody that was offended by me contacting them. And I don't know, those that didn't respond, maybe they were, but I just don't. Have gotten to the point where I don't care anymore. I'm trying to help them. And if they're not interested at this time, it's okay.
Yeah, I think what I hear you saying too is you're you're not taking it personal. Like we
Right.
all have to get
Right,
over
right.
that. Think at the beginning, we're all kind of in that beginning stages and we take everything personal and it hurts
Yeah.
our feelings. And then we finally learn, like, wait a minute, it's not about us.
Right.
Grows out and they're saying no to trying the products. That does not mean they're saying they don't like me or they're saying no to me as a person. And so I think that's such a good you know, place to be is to understand, like, yeah, just get in there and ask and don't worry about the no's, right? Because it's nothing personal about you. Those are great tips.
It's great. Yes. And Kathleen, do you go by Kathleen or Kathy?
Kathy. Yeah.
First off, I tried to say something 3 times and I wanted to ask you that, and then I forgot what my thing was that I was going to tell you because I wanted to ask you the name question and I thought I was going to forget that. So when you were talking about your life posts and them getting more, I just did a 30-day to 1K with Bob Heilig. And it talks about those Plexus posts that you're making. Just make those informational posts. Okay. Don't expect any kind of responses on those. Just have those be your informational posts because you want to put authentic posts out there for yourself, like personal posts that
Right.
people are going to react to. Like, I don't know if you have grandchildren or children, whatever. Dogs are another good one. You can post a picture of the dog with a Plexus something, like if you just really want to get something. But I'm just saying that it's okay to post those ones. Just make sure you do like a person, I call it authentic, or like a personal post after that, a couple hours after that informational one, so that people can react to your personal stuff and not just blow you off like you're trying to quote sell them, because really what you're just doing is information. You're giving them information on those Plexus posts.
Right. I won't stop doing it. I'm just saying the ones that I think really hit home are the more personal ones about what my journey has been and the difference that I see. And, I post a lot of stuff about, my husband and I exercising or walking and, okay, I really don't, I sat down one day and I said, I really don't want to get back into the routine, but here I go, I'm going to make myself do something that I don't want to. So just real things that everybody goes through. But no, I would never stop posting the advertisements about Plexus because I think that's important too. And I think a lot of people will watch for a long time and then eventually
Girl, I
they'll
watched for
ask.
9 years before I signed up under Lori Harrison. Okay.
Wow.
9 years.
That's
Yeah.
what
So
my newest,
I understand what you're saying there.
I have a business builder, first business builder in years, and I've been doing this 10 years and she's watched me all 10 years. Just signed up in November and she went Fast Start Silver, working on Fast Start Senior Silver. But it's because, like, a lot of times people don't like engage as much on a Plexus post. They see
Right.
it though. They see it because same thing like what Babette's saying, like same thing. I scrolled and I scrolled for 3 months. My cousin was posting and I scrolled for 3 months before I stopped and said, Angela, what is this stuff you're posting about all the time? Like, I think the first time she did it, I'm just like, huh, that's cute. I don't know what she's talking about. And I just scrolled, because we're bombarded with so much stuff. And I'd see her post about another testimony. And I'm like, huh. And I just kept going. She never reached out to me. This is my cousin, like we live in different states. And so I'm sure she eventually was going to or whatever, but I want to say it was 3 solid months. And I remember telling my husband, I don't know what Angela's posting about. I'm going to ask her, what is it? I didn't even know it was a supplement. I didn't know what it was. And so, it's funny because I see it, people see, and I remind myself of that. You may
Right.
post something, educational health post or a Plexus educational post or products or a testimony, and not many people like it, not many people comment, right? But if you do that consistently, right, then when you go to message them, they've seen it, and so a lot of times it just makes it a little bit like my friend had seen it for 10 years and she bought it. And then I said, So I don't know if you ever thought about maybe working this as a business. She goes, I have. She interrupted me when I was in the middle of asking her, like, did she think she might want to do this as a business? She literally interrupted me in the middle of a sentence and said, why, yes, I have thought about it. I think I want to. And like literally it's gone. But somebody she's never in 10 years ever once made a comment on any of my posts.
Girl, that was me. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
that was me.
Yeah. So I always have to
And then
remind
I
myself.
waited a whole year after I started using it and felt better. I waited a whole year to post.
How
I'm
funny.
sure
Yeah.
Lori's hair was as curly as mine when that was happening. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and I've had a lot of people who don't comment on the post, but they'll private message me because they
Yes,
may
yes,
not
yes.
want everybody to know their business.
Yes.
They'll send me a message through Messenger or through Instagram messages.
Yeah. I
So,
always think people like they don't, yeah, they're trying something new and they don't want anybody to know. There's a
right.
lot of flexes, like even diamonds that said, "Hey, I told don't don't tell anybody I'm starting this stuff." It's so funny how that is. So, all right, Babette, we've got about 20 minutes. Do you want to start sharing your
Yeah, let me just show
yeah.
you real quick. Okay, so
Okay.
what you want to do is you want to go into your back office and you want to find everybody who's enrolled levels 1 through 4. Um, you want to find everybody who enrolled in November and December. Okay, so that's the first thing that you're going to do, and then you're going to grab some notebook paper. That's what this is. It's like notebook paper, and I just made columns. Okay, and so I wrote everybody from November till today on here who has joined my team. Okay, levels 1, and I've only done levels 1 and 2 because this was on my report, my thing from last time that I
Yeah.
kept, you know. And so you're going to write that down. I write in the first column right here, I write the date, and then in the next column I write the level. Okay. And so you can go 4 levels deep and you're going to go from November. You're going to write everybody who joined in November and in December. Those go on here because this month you get double retention for all these people right here. Okay. So I write their name down and then I write their phone number. And then I have 2 blank spaces or no, this is going to be for rank up points. I did not have that on my last one and I had to write that in. So I'm writing rank up right here and I'll write like there, if these people rank up, you get credit for them. Okay. But if you have a rank up on your team that you've already enrolled like 6 months, 2 years, like Karen, 10 years. I mean, somebody who's been enrolled for a long time, longer than November, before November, if they rank up, you get points for them on your levels 1 through 4. So you can write them down here, like Karen right here. I'm going to write in that column right there. I'm going to write however many points I get. And that's how I keep track. Okay. And then, and then after that, I've got 2 blank spaces. I have a sub in here. So what I think I'm going to try this time is if they've got their sub on and their PV. Okay. But I'm going to play with that a little bit. I have not kept up with those 2 things. Okay. So then in these 4 little columns here, you write January, February, March, and April, because that's the 4 months is the convention contest, right? I don't think it's in May. Am I right? Does anybody know?
It
It's
ends
just
in April.
okay.
Yeah.
So it ends April 30th. So I go to this first person here and see I've already messaged that. Okay, then over here I've got notes. And this is where I put what they bought, if I know what they bought. And these are directly under me. Okay. So if you've got a level 3 or 4 and you're not talking to them, you don't know what they got or what their issue is, just leave it blank. Okay. Until you figure that, like, until you get in the rhythm of keeping up with your people. And then over here in the very last thing I wrote, what they got free, I just wrote give 10 or reset because most of my people chose reset. Okay. So I know who's got a reset and who's doing reset, and I can talk to them about this. So what I've already done is gone through my people and PM them. How's it going? How are your products working? Do we need to tweak your sub? That kind of thing right now. Okay. Because my back office, you have to enroll 3 in order to get your tracker to come up. Okay. So until that happens, I'm just loving on my people. I'm seeing, and I do this anyway. This is nothing like new that I don't do otherwise, but this is how I keep track of it. Okay. So like you can tell let me get one for this. Okay, so you see how I have their numbers, and like I'll make a little P if I PM them or a T if I text them. The reason why I've got their phone number is because I PM them first, because that keeps your algorithm going. That keeps those people seeing what you're posting about Plexus all the time. So your new people, you're PMing them, right? And whether they answer or they don't answer at the beginning of the month, you're still PMing them because you're keeping your algorithm going. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then if they don't answer, you've got their phone number and you can just text them and say, hey girl, are you getting my PMs? Are you getting my messages on on Facebook? Because I don't see the ball dropping and I don't see your commenting back to me. I just straight up ask them, are you getting my PMs? And then if they say no, I'm like, okay, this is what's been in it. This is what's going on. Here's the special. Here's your code. Like last month, it was like you get a save 10 code or save 20 code, or you can just all together restart, And so I'm constantly talking to those people, the new ones. And then I also run a back office report about the middle of the month. If you don't know how to do that on genealogy, I can show you on another Zoom, or I can show you when it's my time to host the sideline or whatever. But you need to run a genealogy report because you can run that by whatever categories you want. Okay. So I keep up with who can restart, who gets a save 10, and who got a save 20. Like you can do last order date and sort it by last order date, and all your people are going to be in order from today down to whenever you first enrolled. Okay. And so you just go back to April now, and everybody who enrolled from April back can re-enroll. So I just straight up ask them. Because if they order, okay, like with me, it didn't matter at the end of the month last month. I needed 6 straight up orders. I didn't care if they restarted. I didn't care if they used save 10. I didn't care if they used save 20 or give 10 or anything. So all of my current people, I'm just texting them saying, hey, how are you doing? What's your routine like? Do we need to tweak anything? But the ones with the save 10 and the give 10, I'm like, girl, you can save $10. Like, get on this today. And same with the 20. So that's how I've done it. I swept the contest this last time for the first time, and I kind of got this dialed down to this system. And I have found mistakes, like number mistakes, like I was supposed to get 20 points and I only got 10, that kind of thing. So you can go at the end of the month and you can review all your numbers and everything if you're keeping that in. And I did make an Excel sheet for it. I'm not a big Excel person, but I made an Excel with these headings across the top, and I can share that. But this is the book that I got from Amazon. It's just called a 5-column logbook. And of course, I got it with the colors. I think they have it just in white too. But anyway, anybody have any questions on this?
No, I don't. But, I think basically what you're saying is the personal messaging and connection made a big difference. And that did for me as well. I actually, and I don't have as many people as most of you guys do, but those that had been with me, and especially the newer ones I had just talked to, but I made a video for each person and I sent it to I text messaged it to them, thanking them for trusting me with their health journey and saying yes whenever they did, wishing them a happy new year, and it was really heartfelt, and I think people really loved it. So again, it's connecting with people, which is what Brooke Hemingway
Did you
always
make an
says.
individual video for every person?
I did. I used their name. But you know what? In the case of people who have, a lot of people, maybe I would generalize it and not do that. I'm going to have to deal with that, when I get to that point. But I don't have that many. I have 20, 20 or
Okay, because
something
I've
like
got
that.
like over 200. And
Yeah,
so
yeah. It
I would
probably
just,
wouldn't be doable, but
you know what? If I started on it at the beginning of the month and knew who ordered, like who could restart and just did 5 or 10 a day, you
yes,
could do that and knock out 200 of them in 20 days.
yeah. I think it
So
made,
I think that is a great idea, Kathy.
yeah.
Who did now? I missed who you sent those videos to.
I sent them to people on my team, that not the newest ones, because I just talked to them, but some of them I still did it and just said, thank you so much. I want to thank you. It's that time of year, wishing you a happy new year. And I want to thank you for trusting me, and saying yes to your journey with Plexus. I really appreciate the fact that you did that. And, I just went on whatever's on your heart to say. And and then some of them, I don't even think I said it in that, but I did text some that hadn't ordered and just said, hey, we're doing the 2025 hard challenge, so I reached out to everybody because I sponsored, I'm trying to think, it was 7 people in probably 2 days, from going back to all my messages and going back to all the people that I already had. I also sent messages. I said, I'm working on it. I didn't want to tell them what I was doing. I just said I have really big goals, that I'm trying to reach out to as many people as possible. Can you think of anyone, that would benefit from this free reset and the 2025 hard challenge? One of my people we signed up her son and daughter-in-law, and she gifted it to them. And she'd already signed up her husband. So that's my first brand ambassador that went sober. I've never had that happen. And I need to get better at working the business. But just by reaching out to people, I did it. I mean, I'm like, what can it hurt? And
You're a rock star,
in a
girl.
way that it wasn't about me. It was more about them.
Yes, that's amazing. Like I can't believe I didn't think about that, but that is amazing to send somebody their own individual thing. Darlene's on here. What Darlene does when they don't answer is hold up a little sticky note that says, what does it say, Dar?
Hey guys, I'm on my phone. Sorry, it took me a minute. It says, haha, can you see this? Or it says, should I quit trying?
Oh, I
should
like
quit
that.
It's
trying?
from Emily Gibson. That's what
Yeah.
she does.
And you write their name on that sticky note and be like, should I quit trying?
Yeah, you write their name. That's
Yeah.
right.
And I've also done the little meme of Forrest Gump running, like Jenny, and I send that to him. I'm like, hey, did I run you off?
Oh, that's cute.
And I usually get a response on that. They're like, no, I read this 3 days ago and forgot about you. Basically is what they're saying. Cause I do the same thing. I did that to my grandson, for God's sake, last night. He called and I was like, I'll call you back after the Zoom. At 1:30 in the morning, I woke up going, I forgot to call him back, that kind of thing. So it happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Darlene, what was the first part of it? You said ha ha, and then what?
It says, haha, can you see this?
Okay. And then, or should I quit trying?
Yeah, the other sticky note, it says, and it's you holding the sticky note and you kind of smile.
Oh, that's
right. You say, Vicky, should I quit trying? And you take a selfie with that and then you send it.
And then there's one in the middle, Darlene, that I think can you see this? Haha.
Yes.
There's one in the middle that you just reach out in a voice message and just say something like, I forget the exact wording, but something like, hey, Susie, it's been a while since I've heard from you. I'm just kind of getting a vibe that maybe you're not interested. Am I on the right track? Or You
I've
know,
heard that
just
one.
be kind of a direct, but nice, right?
Yeah.
And then the final one, if they still ignore you, is that, should I quit trying? You know, hey, Vicky, should I quit trying?
Hmm.
And just,
Honestly, I have just used, and I got this from Babette, I've just used the question mark. I'll just send a question mark. And a lot of times they're like, oh, I meant to respond to you and I was, whatever. And then they'll tell you the things. And I haven't had to send a lot
yeah,
of those sticky notes because they usually, if I do the question mark, they usually respond to that.
And
yeah.
you can hit your own message, and you know how you do the little heart on the message or whatever? You can go to the little red question mark that's in that emoji thing and put that question mark on your own message so that you're
Oh,
questioning
yeah,
your own message. Does that make sense? Do you know
yeah.
what everybody know what I'm talking about there?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
I just think that just having a repertoire of like a kind of a ghosting protocol, that's what Emily calls it, like having kind of a repertoire, because that's kind of the hard, like this gray area of like, so you have multiple avenues to try depending on your person, and maybe you know them well enough that you can try something. So I just added a couple more to that. So that's great. And I do want to acknowledge what's in the comments, you guys. I know we were talking, Hannah mentioned that she watched for 2 years. We were talking about how people don't respond right away sometimes, or don't even message or like or anything your stuff, but they see it. And then hopefully at some point when you reach out to them, they're ready because they've seen it for so long. And she said she was one of those two that scrolled and she thought it was just for weight loss. She said, because that's all the stuff she saw. And that's a good reminder to all of us to make sure that we're sharing testimonials. Like Reset is, so much before and after. I was trying in my stories to also talk about all the other benefits of doing a prolonged fast. There's a lot of research to show that it helps with cancer, it helps with metabolic diseases like stroke, heart disease, diabetes. It helps with prolonging your life. Like, so brain health, there's so many things. And so I was trying to share with that, letting people know, like, because it's true. Like it's easy to show the before and after, and that's what they see. But we need to make sure that we're posting about other things, because that's what really got her to think, okay, this is more than just weight loss. When somebody posted a reflux.
Absolutely. I went
That's a
into
really
it for
good point.
pain relief. I went into it for pain
Yes,
relief. And if
pain.
it wasn't for Lori talking about her janky toe and autoimmune diseases being healed and all this stuff, like
Yes.
I didn't care anymore. Like I have lost and kept off 85 pounds. And I did a lot of I would have done Ozempic, I'm telling you, if it were available when I was crying in my crazy era.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing. Like,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. And so that's a great reminder, Hannah. Perfect reminder. And then Kathleen posted her message in the chat. Um, for what she was saying to people who that saw her stories. So if you guys want to check that out. And then Kathleen, can you also put that in our Sideline Strong? Maybe you have already and I just haven't seen it, in our general Sideline Strong Messenger chat group. So people that are not on the
I'm not in it. I
Oh,
don't
you're
even know what
not?
you're talking about.
I'll add her.
Okay.
I'll add her. Yeah,
Okay.
she's not in it. We were actually supposed to have a team call starting now, like at 7:30. And I was like, you guys, let's just hop onto the Sideline Sisters, because Jess and I,
Oh,
who's Jess is on here, are in the Sideline
awesome.
Sisters chat, but Kathleen wasn't. I was like, you should just come with us.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you came.
yes.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, add her in there, and then maybe you can post it in there as well. And I
Sure.
screenshot. I can probably it's once you screenshot it, I don't know if you guys know that you can copy and paste right out of your photos now. So that's really
Well, you know what I had a hard time doing? Instead of typing it all out, I while we were on the call, I went back to my messenger chats and I tried to copy it, and all it would do was copy one word. So as you can see before that, it said season, and I must have just copied the one word, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to just type the whole thing out. I'm 67 years old and I'm very tech challenged. I'm getting better at it, but it's not always easy for me. And sometimes it takes me forever to figure it out. So,
Yeah.
Kathleen, I'm 60 and I've got you there too. I understand what you're talking about, challenge. You can ask poor Darlene. I'm constantly asking her all kinds of stuff about this stuff. And she's 10 years younger than me, and she knows all the things like that I don't know. If she doesn't, she finds out for me. But
yeah,
I just pick and choose the tech stuff I want to learn, Kathy.
right.
Like,
Well, exactly. And I pick up things up as I've gone along, and my upline is at least 10 years younger than me. And I'm in the group with Julia and her and another lady, and they're all a lot younger. So, oh, excuse me. My husband's calling. I'm going to be off for just a second.
Okay, I know we need to hop off. It's been about an hour. I want to end with one last. I just noticed, Julia, you mentioned that you do cards every year for your customers. I'd love to hear. We'll end with this last tip because I want to respect everybody's time, but I definitely want to hear about your cards.
So Kathleen was saying that she sent a video message to her customers. Well, I kind of like you, Babette, and many of you others, I have a lot of customers. And so I sent over 42 like Christmas cards of my family. And I, on the ones that have ordered consistently for over a year or for the year, I sent a little goodie bag. Darlene had mentioned it in the Sideline Sisters, and I do something similar, but I added some more stuff to it. So it was just basically a sample and a tea and a little goodie.
Did you send that in the Christmas card, Julia?
The top people. Yep, I sent that with a Christmas card to everybody who had ordered consistently for the year.
Nice idea.
Those that were new or those that had not ordered consistently, I did just send my Christmas card, and that was it. But the ones that had ordered for more than or for the whole entire year, I added a personal letter to that as well, thanking them for sticking around, thanking them for choosing me to help them with their journey. And I'm so excited to hear what 2025 brings us, and just kind of being grateful for them, but also casting into the future, like what's going to come up for us this year, as a team, because I think it's all about accountability.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. And it's not too late. Like I got a few things for Christmas and I just never, like, working full time and baby, I'm not as organized and I could not get it off. And then I traveled a lot in December, but it's just a reminder, like, it's not too late. It's January. You can send it as a happy new year. Thank you for a great 2024, same thing. Or even in February is a great time.
You can send a thank you note anytime.
But I'm saying it's easy to tie into January. It's easy to tie into February with I heart you, right? Kind of a thing. So, if you want to find a cute little Valentine-y card or a cute little thank you card, like you said, it can be done anytime. So just a reminder too, if you missed the Christmas boat like I did, this is a great season. And I think things are a little bit, people are they're not expecting a gift or anything at this point. So that's kind of a fun little surprise to hop into their.
I get Thanksgiving cards from some of my family, and I look forward to that every year. Like, they don't send Christmas cards, but they send an updated Thanksgiving update. And so I like that. I like it at different times, you don't feel so inundated.
Pick what's the best time for you and what works best for you. And I like that too. Like, I love it. So,
the other thing
that I'm
go ahead, Julia.
One thing that I am implementing this year is I'm going back through and I'm getting everybody's birthdays. And so at the beginning of the month, I'm just going to write a birthday card to them. Just another personal touch for me.
Yeah.
The other thing that I did, and I ended up getting somebody that came back. So I went back and I couldn't figure out how to find it, like in my virtual office, but I remembered some of the people that I had that had dropped off or their accounts were closed. And I reached out to several of them, and one of them came back in. So that's another thing that you can do is, and January is a great time because everybody wants to get on the bandwagon of being healthy. So it gives you a reason to reach out to them. And I even said, I know that, you used Plexus for a while and it was working for you. I'm not sure why you stopped, but I need to take a lot of responsibility because I really didn't know what I was doing and I did not stay in touch with you the way I should have. And I said, since then, I've learned a lot and, I'm doing things differently. Have you ever thought about coming back? I'd love to, have you rejoin. So,
I love that. I love that. I've done that a couple times. It's been a while, but like just taking accountability for those seasons in your life where it
right,
got difficult for you and for whatever reason, or yeah, same thing, you didn't have a good system for
right.
follow up or whatever. And, I think people respect that. So,
Mhm.
all right, you guys. Well, our time is up and I want to respect everybody's time. It was great to have so many people on this call. And we're trying to do this weekly. We have them every Monday, except for the third week of the month, and that's usually the afternoon Thursday call. So we appreciate you hopping on, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.